It is too late to heal the wound. This is the position of Biafrans and the Igbo in general, as they demand that the only way to pacify them and the millions of Igbos and their eastern brothers who were gruesomely murdered under this prevailing conspiracy that Igbo masterminded the coup that led to the death of certain prominent personalities within the north and west. It was a very deadly conspiracy with grave consequences. It is too late to heal the wound. All we need, we are done with Nigeria, all we need is Biafra. That is the only way that the death of those loved ones who were gruesomely murdered and killed severally must be pacified. They are demanding the death of the lost ones who were battered and killed in the most gruesome way. They are demanding for Biafra, and as the living, in order to pacify their spirit, we are done with Nigeria. We don't need Nigeria again. Our position is Biafra. It is too late to heal the wounds, the pains, the agonies of the mothers who lost their nursing babies, who were stabbed to death and neglected, killed. I saw even in a viral video where a mother was dragging his son from the Nigerian military operation. The child was shot before her mother. It is quite unfortunate. It was shot severally before her mother. Her mother watching her lifeless boy or son, of course, helplessly. It is quite a horrible scene or scenario. In fact, it's described as a crime scene, and it's quite a very disturbing case, honestly, if I may say. So with this latest development and revelation made by IPB, there have been several reactions and of course counter reactions. Some persons are saying perhaps Igbos might find a place to forgive. Yes, that could be possible according to the majority of the Igbos if the lost ones, those who were gruesomely died, seek out, get justice. And the only way they could get justice is not by compensation, because there is no amount of compensation that will be commensurate enough to compensate those who not just lost everything, they lost their lives, their economic, of course, were also targeted at, to the point that they destroyed virtually all the buildings, all the properties. Prior to this time, before the war, Eastern region was one of the industrial hub, of course, of the nation. Considering the technological know-how and ingenuity of the Eastern people, they were developing at their own pace, becoming, under the regional government, becoming the fastest developing economy in the world, not even competing with the African states, but the entire world was watching an emergence of a new state, of a new people with different ideology, ingenuity and commitment to the development of their own nation and region. Unfortunately, both international and local conspiracy forged together a common front to destroy and abort that womb of development that would have placed the entire African on the pedestal of continuous development and increase. Of course, the Africans would have been the most developed region of the world, and surpassing the Asia, the America, with the level of talent, ingenuity, commitment, and industrious nature of the Easterns. Today, quite unfortunately and sadly, the Ohanaeze Ndigbo, as some people of course, has described them, who are not representing the interests of the people, not even political, social, economic, and otherwise. They are not there to represent the Igbos, and they have not ever spoken in defense of the Igbos, not at any time traceable in the history of the world, of the Igbo race, especially our journey in Nigeria. What do I have to say? That these people are just self-centered and interested in just what they have to get and what to satisfy their own interests. That is just all they needed and nothing more. You can imagine when people are still nursing the bruises, the pains and agonies of this excruciating pogrom forced on them. The entire regions of this country, ethnic nationality, especially the North and the West, conspired against the Igbos and their Eastern brothers to ensure total annihilation, cleansing. And today, the Ohanaeze Ndigbo, or whatever they are being called, because they are not Ohanaeze Ndigbo, we are demanding for 10 trillion naira as a compensation for those who lost their life. How many will be compensated? What is the value of 10 trillion today? In today's economy, Nigeria happens to be one of the poorest economy in Africa today. That the naira strength of value has been grossly weakened by inflation and the rest of them. Today, Nigerian economy, or perhaps currency, is far less than the Cotonou cedis or cents or whatever they call them, CFAs and the rest of them. So what is 10 trillion compared to the damage, the pogrom, the impunity, the atrocity, the war crimes committed against the people who were just innocent, who unfortunately, because of their love and ingenuity and commitment to building an egalitarian society, was misrepresented or misconceived. They were, by the hatred, compared by the hatred they have for the Igbos, destroyed virtually the entire industrial hub. Would you now equate it to 10 trillion at this time? If Nigeria has tapped from the resources, ingenuity, technological know-how, and mind, economic sense and mind of the Igbos today, they would have become the greatest, most envied nation on the surface of the earth. But unfortunately, 50-something years down the line, Nigerians have been regarded as the poverty center of the world, becoming a mockery to the community of nations. It's quite unfortunate. Reading by insecurity, hunger, ravaging the population is quite unfortunate. Now, Ohanaeze demanding for 10 trillion compensation is a gross insult on the lives of those who lost their loved ones, trampling on the blood of the innocent ones that were killed, children starved to death, mothers watching their nursing babies and children being fatalized, dying, collapsing because of starvation. It is quite unfortunate. Ohanaeze should be brought to question the veracity of the session. What is 10 trillion naira in today's Nigerian economy? It is quite laughable. This is another indication that they have never represented the Igbos and will never represent the Igbos. They are just merchants and opportunists who want to take undue advantage of any opportunity to betray or to sell out the Igbos. What is 10,000? How many of them will you compensate? My father was involved, a victim of this war, because he decided to defend his own posterity and people. It's quite unfortunate. He sustained the injuries and eventually died because of the excesses of this brutality. Then it has been made known that they are not responsible. They are only defending their right to live and their right to life. And they were pounced and decimated. It's quite unfortunate. Shame to Ohanaeze. I have told you they have never represented me or any other Igbo people. Of course, they are just mere political opportunities trying to cash out when it's necessary, seeking for opportunities to exploit. It's quite unfortunate what the Igbos in majority are saying. We are done with Nigeria. Now that the truth, you decided to speak out the truth. It is too late to heal the wound that have the internal bleeding sustained. The only way is to give them Biafra. And if that is their collective demand, so be it, because I cannot change, not even an iota of such position, because my father also shared in that same ideology. And today, what is happening, the suppression, the seclusion or exclusion from the budget and the rest of them is telling us that they are still oppressing the people. Of course, Nnamdi Kanu release is another case that is prioritized in the mind of the Biafrans and the Igbos. They are only demanding the release of Nnamdi Kanu and the restoration of the lost sovereignty of Biafra. That is the only way that the soul of the repose, those who died in the most gruesome and destructive, of course, conspiracy of war or genocides, must be pacified. It is quite unfortunate. But whatever be the case, the people are watching to see the way forward. But Ohanaeze should be cautioned, because 10 trillion naira, I've heard Nigerian budgets runs into tens of trillion, and unfortunately that have not addressed the debt poverty ravaging the country. It has not solved the problem of insecurity, poverty-stricken population that is being described as the center of poverty. So what could 10 trillion naira do to those who lost their loved ones, families who were wiped off, the children who suffered kwashiorkor and starvation and eventually were killed, people who would have become great men and women of substance, of course contributing to human development and of course the development of the Igbo race, we are annihilated. Now what does 10 trillion do to such a society, to such a nation, or the eastern, of course, region and their loved ones? By mean the eastern region, the Igbos and their eastern brothers suffered. Most importantly, or most especially the Igbos, dominant region, suffered such war crimes. Eventually, they said no victor, no vanquish, but that is not in reality. Today, we have seen that the victors are vanquishing the victims. It's quite unfortunate, sidelining them. They don't want them to participate in the economic and political, of course, development or contribution to this day. It's quite unfortunate. So Ohanaeze should be ashamed of themselves, trampling on the blood of their loved ones, of their own people. There have been several killings, abductions, forceful disappearances. Ohanaeze has not come up to the condemn such dastard acts. Is quite unfortunate. And today they have not called for the withdrawal of the militarization of the eastern region. They have not called for the release of Nnamdi and the rest of them. Whatever be the case, it is quite clear and obvious. Ohanaezes are not for the Igbos. The Igbos are not for Ohanaeze. It is getting more clearer today, rather than for asking for the right thing to be done and the cravings of the majority of the Igbos, who has been severely oppressed, and they have expressed their dissatisfaction without any justification. They have been the victim of conspiracy, of cruelty, of subjugation, and continual extension of oppression sponsored and engineered by deep-seated hatred against a particular race and people because of the ingenuity, because of the industriousness and success. It is quite unfortunate all the industrial hubs and the rest of the developmental stride recorded gained before the war was totally collapsed and disengaged. Today, you hardly could see any industrial estate or hub within the eastern regions. They should have overtaken the Chinese and the German, of course, society. But unfortunately, all the economic policies designed from 1970, where they were stripped off of their resources, given £10 to suffocate and die economically. But today, to their own chagrin and utter dismay, they have seen the Igbos emerging and resurfacing, becoming the dominant factor in the economy today. These are people who lost everything, including their lives, and their resources was intentionally stripped off. And eventually today, they are the most envied across the regions of this earth. And the Nigeria at large today, have you learned a lesson? Despite the oppressions and subjugations, the people of the chosen one, of course, has remained the most invariable and the most envied ethnic nationality or race in the whole world, the biggest black race in the world, not just Africa, most traveled, most exposed, most industrious people on the surface of the earth. They are asking for a nation that will express themselves, their ingenuity and their developmental stride, the technological know-how will be expressed, of course, to showcase to the world. But this have been silenced and intentionally covered up or suppressed by the activities and policies of the Nigerian government, sustained by continuous, of course, subjugation. But whatever be the case, the Igbos has the right to decide their political future and national election, or whatever they believe it is in their best interest. We are here analyzing the situations and feeling the impulse of those who had been greatly or partly affected by this development. But for Ohanaeze, they should go to sleep, because they have never been there for the Igbos and will never be the mouthpiece of the Igbos. The Igbos know their leader, and the leader knows them, and they respect the leader, those who has their interests at heart. Let's have your own take regarding this development. What could the 10 trillion compensation, not even $100 trillion, would be enough to compensate the people who were being subjugated? I mean, the most worst crime in the history of the world is the bloodiest Nigerian Biafra war. Of course, the world conspired against Biafra, not just Nigeria fighting them. Has been revealed in his book, One expressed that the technological know-how and sustainability of the Biafrans would have overrun the Nigerian within 10 weeks, if not for the intervention of external forces or Western world. That is very clear, but they have not taken this into recognition and do what is needful. What for the Biafrans and the majority of the Igbos are saying, it is too late to heal the wound. The only way is to heal the wound is to allow us be ourselves and express ourselves, live for ourselves, and develop our own face our own challenges, and decide our own fate and future, of course, in Biafra and the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Let's have your own take regarding this development and what you believe could be the way forward. Thank you for watching. I remain Ndigbo, a national analyst and anchor. Thank you and have a great day. Don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe to this channel so you can have videos whenever it's being uploaded.